Gonna be a tough road here for the player in the top left. He's still down at the moment. The score is 2-1 in the favor of our Terran. So, top left corner of the map, we've got the Dead Pixels, Red Zerg player, True.
The bottom right, as the blue Terran, it's GumiHo.
I'm starting to really love Dead Pixels roster, by the way, just as a side note. Fantasy, Patience, True. These may not be the biggest names in StarCraft 2, but damn if they aren't some of my favorite to watch.
Now we have to figure out who Sulky's gonna go to.
No, what we have to do is convince Dead Pixels that DPix is not a great abbreviation for their team name.
That's true. DPix Fantasy is probably not a good selling point for at least English-speaking audiences.
The Dick Pics Fantasy. Oh my god. I didn't even piece that together till just now. Oh, good.
You didn't pix that together.
I didn't pick that together, no. But anyways, one last thing to talk about here as far as those who are hanging out with us live in Twitch chat. And I say this not as a threat, but as an actual legitimate concernable warning. Guys, if you don't know, it's actually straight up against Twitch terms of service to evade a ban. And I know some of you guys are doing this just to have some fun, but our mods will report you, and I don't want you to lose your access to Twitch. So keep that in mind as you continue here in chat. But anyways, GumiHo with this extended racks. This is all kinds of awkward.
Oh, I was looking at the... Oh, this is a proxy 2 racks, the most proxy place location, and it's really not. It's at least proxy.
Yeah, if it was over here, maybe. It's within proximity of his own base, so it is still a proxy rack.
Oh, God. God, we talked about this before. Is it a proxy if it's not really in proximity of anything?
Well, as far as this goes, it's a shorter map, Ohana. The rush distance isn't that big. I think he can still pull off bunker aggression, as weird as that is to say, rather than like a classic 2 racks. And the advantage of having these so close to home is they get back faster. As weird as that is to generalize. Because oftentimes we've seen these games end because the Terran player is still mid-flight with the Raxes by the time the counterattack from Zerglings is going off.
I suppose so. Well, SCV goes in here. You know what? It kind of saw all I needed to see. I guess I could check the gases, but when you see the hatchery that far gone, you know that it wasn't a full first. That's starting to make me feel like better than that last game, I would say. It does scout the gas being taken as well. It's still going to, of course, commit, and the bunker is going to be shown. The Overlord's still here. That's a nice thing about True. He doesn't send the Overlord away. He sees this coming.
So he's going to try and get that surround, but I mean, this is not so all in out of GumiHo. Like, this is definitely a committed opener because of the way you have to spend that extra 150 minerals early on. But I mean, for the most part, this isn't the same level of all in, as weird as that is to measure.
He's bringing an odd number of SCVs. Oh, repair the bunker.
Well, True's also losing a lot of lost mining time through this. A couple of drones have died. I mean, this is definitely dealing damage. Down to 11 workers, and he's got no money to pump more. I mean, I understand the focus, but there we go, the salvage.
Savage. It could have tried to keep it with the queen out and that many lings. It probably would have gone anyways with only 2 marines in it. And he's doing so much damage without the bunker. It's like, I don't need you anyways. I'm a strong, independent marine.
Like, oh, right, this is the mech player. I forgot for a moment.
Still doing damage. He's still rallying, too. So much for bringing up your barracks.
Yeah, I think, okay, well... Yeah, that rallies, but there we go. Does lift the racks and starts bringing him home. Of course, you could fully wall this off with Raxes if you need to, if you're really worried about like a Baneling counterattack. And I mean, at this point for True, that is kind of what you've almost been forced into a situation where you have to all in, might want all in. I mean, it's, for goodness sake, he's down to 13 workers.
Yeah, I mean that all in worked out. I don't want to say so well. It was like a complete stomp last game, but it worked, didn't it? So that's what is important. And GumiHo is playing this very greedy. Gets 2 command centers. One's at the front. I don't think about that.
You know what? Oftentimes we talk about how the command center is the worst thing to have in a wall. It always leaves like a small hole or it doesn't work well. But this is actually the tightest seal I've ever seen around a command center wall.
Yeah, and GumiHo got a little lucky. His tech lab reactors, whatever he wants to put on there, will be protected. Oftentimes you don't see them want to do that though. Put supply or tech labs and reactors at the front, that is, because it just makes an awkward wall later that you have to keep add-ons. Anyways, GumiHo goes up to a factory. Still undetermined if he's going to go for bio. Last game, he immediately went up to more barracks. So it was very obvious. Even though he has 2 barracks, you might think, well, shouldn't he go into bio afterwards? Not really true at all. Lots of people go into mech after this.
Yeah, it's... Well, I was going to say yeah, but never mind.
It is. So it is bio.
He really wants turrets, like, extra badly. He's going mech. He just really wants missile turrets. So, okay, playing bio again out of GumiHo, it does seem a little bit weird. It strikes me as odd, but at the same time, this is not really that big of a mech-friendly map. A lot of times we look back on these old maps, and Akalon Waste stands out pretty clearly, Daybreak as well, and a lot of that's because you've got positioning and terrain and other wonderful things you can abuse as mech. Ohana, for all intents and purposes, it's a huge, wide-open map. There's not a lot of ramps to abuse. Typically, you're fighting like in open spaces. It makes sense not to play mech.
I love this choice to do this kind of like follow-up surprise attack. Ling speed was never started despite having a gas pretty darn early for true. I guess he wasn't mining from it. That's what happened, right?
I feel like this series is just about GumiHo proving his worth. Like, I can still play bio. Because that stutter step without stim, and that chase without speed, I mean, that was 9 minutes of the game. All sorts of awkward.
I was looking at the third of Jambay on the production tab, and I was like, wait a minute. And it's blocking the third.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I didn't even catch that.
Cool. This is, I mean, yeah, you have units out right now, but it's still a very healthy building.
I actually, you know, I would argue this is a big deal because not only was his drone count shut down so early and he was just forced to spend so much larva on Lings just now, that this third being delayed the way it is, this really screws with any timings True could possibly attempt to pull off, be it all in or otherwise. So for GumiHo's sake, this engineering bay is actually a pretty big deal.
Well, clearly, if he was really going to be a master about this, he should have kept at least 4 Marines alive from that push and built a bunker there.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
Can you stop criticizing players for once? Gosh.
No, they need to be absolutely perfect with my fantastic ideas. No, it used to be something we saw on Daybreak. That was the one map where I saw it at all. And I think it was by Tasia, really, back when he was also like building barracks in weird places. He would put like a bunker behind the mineral line at the third, and Zergs wouldn't expect it, and they'd be like, "Oh, I can't. Oh, there's no surface area."
Well, the Overlord gets picked off, and well, it shuts down all offensive scouting out of True. I mean, we look at his vision; he's playing considerably blind for what we're used to seeing out of Zerg players.
Yeah. GumiHo going into tanks as well. Really interesting choice. I don't know what to really. I mean, Ohana has chokes, so it's not like being out in the middle of Entombed Valley or something like that. You know, it's another throwback map, am I right? So that was in the map pool, God forbid. But it's like he's playing it like it is the Wings of Liberty. Like, it's Ohana. I don't get tanked in this map.
I mean, that was a time where Marine tank was actually a standard for a bit of time.
Oh, you had to. Look what your other choices besides mech.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't Widow Mines back then. It wasn't the same dynamic of StarCraft 2.
Yeah. He did stop producing tanks, so maybe it was just 3. Ohana's really nice for tanks, it's true, because it does cover
No, that's
all
true.
your bases. No, shut up. It does cover all your bases. With only 3 tanks, he has very nice setup to defend the third and also a lot of the natural.
Yeah. Well, guys, I need to take a small break from the cast to give a big shout and thank you to Fang615 for sub of the day. Thank you very much, sir, for that support. Enjoy your emoticons and welcome back.
2-2 is lined up pretty even for both players. Combat Shields is on the way. GumiHo, again, has not chosen any other factory production, which is a little weird. No Hellions, no Widow Mine, just those 3 tanks, and they're going to be sieged here forever, I guess.
I gotta tell you, like, after watching Impact play on this map, I know Impact's still in the brain and all that, the creep spread from True almost seems lackluster, but it's actually not bad.
It's a good cleanup, though, and you can still get out. You gotta figure that with all the damage done, with how weird the openers were, that Midas, you know, they aren't gonna be out It's possible that True did, try and get there as fast as possible, but he didn't. So GumiHo was allowed to do this for a very long time. He also got all in the Overlord, so dropping, definitely a good move. It only scouts this. Hey, awkward.
Scan in the middle of the map, gets away with both medevacs. 2 over here on the left, 2 over on the right. Still mostly full.
True, he's gonna okay, there's the attack. I was waiting for that group of units to attack, but there's 3 tanks, man. I don't think he knows that.
The problem is that the tanks, well, they're gonna be able to focus that in. I take that back. I was gonna say they don't quite have that upgrade, so they can't one-shot the legs so easily, but if you got several tanks, that splash damage is gonna overlap way too nicely.
Yeah. We do have a Thor from GumiHo, but he has 2 factories, so the other one's not doing anything. I don't know what to say about that. I guess he's getting blue flame, so eventually he'll start Hellbat production. Eventually. Burrowed Baneling's really cool move. Again, it's kind of it's a map with chokes, definitely. So it's you kind of know where the Terran is going to attack and exactly where in each line of attack. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Rifkin, why did you miss that?
Sorry, that was.
That was really big. That was a good chunk of Marines right there, like 20 at least.
It was big and it was bad observing, and I'm gonna own up to it. Replying to something fairly important. But okay, so centering on here on the left side, we do have GumiHo still. Like, I'm surprised he's been able to get away with so much of what he has. Like, where are the mutas for True? Like, why have these medevacs not been dealt with up to this point?
I mean, I was talking about how because of the openers, they are probably going to be late, but now it's getting to a point where it's like, are you ever going to get mutas? Are you going to try and max out and kind of do that all in that, Nurture was doing, for instance, that are, obviously not very good at dealing with drops, so look at me does not pick this one up. Oh, there we go, a little bit of micro, he's good. A lot of micro, I guess. Starting the Banelings as well. These things are going to stand here forever. It is even upgrades, so the 3-3, of course, on the way for the Terran player a lot faster. And True, without mutas, I can't really see him going up to a hive anytime soon either. That'd be weird to skip that tech.
I can't believe that drop went and did so much. Like, it took so long to clean it up. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, we got more Banelings. Bro, waiting for shots off. He actually kills them while he stands on top of them. A bit of an awkward move.
Yeah. But True has lost so much. Those Marines... Wait a minute. Oh, no, those are the backs. I was like, are they not dead? But even still, the Marines did the Marines did so much at that 4th. True, no tech, decent upgrades, but not a big enough army to really, I think, do anything with it. The mutas are on the way now. It's gonna... GumiHo's max. True isn't. True not by a long shot.
Yeah, okay, so the 3-3 finish up here in a second. It's going to really just add more punch to this. That already has been, but... I mean, True. Okay, well, hold off on that statement for a second. Because right now he's got to get those Banelings out. These medevacs being reconciled with the army, but these tanks pushing forward. He's down in supply in so many different ways, and only just now does the Spire come down.
It's kind of a good surround by True. It just have to do with, like, you don't have enough stuff. All the Banelings do die. A couple more roll into that Thor. That's not helpful.
Yeah, looking to keep pushing here, though, on this creep. That supply difference is just so hard to look at. 3 times the army supply for GumiHo. Look at him in such a fantastic spot. He's up on upgrades as well. Legs are having such a hard time even contending with the Marines, much less anything else. And here comes round 2.
Oh, wow.
It's like, it's like he might have just barely cleaned up. This first one had this been an all-in, but it's not. GumiHo's still rallying across the map with this. And this looks to be the killing blow. I think we're going to have a Solar GumiHo finals, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! TVZ all day in OlimoLeague.
Hey, I'll take it over ZVC. We got so much of that coming up with our future groups for the fight before Christmas. But yeah, as sad as it is to see True go down. Oh, almost kills his own Thor. This 3rd base going down, the drops in the natural. This has all just gone way out of hand. And GumiHo's going to wrap this up. The good game comes down. GG's 3-1 in the semifinals.